like to call the Western Reserve Board of Education meeting to order. Could I have roll call, please?
Mr. Blevins?
Present.
Melissa Potts?
Present.
Brian Daniel?
Present.
Mark Hall?
Present.
Lisa Powell?
Present.
We stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're back to the agenda. The Treasurer's recommendations. It is recommended that the minutes of the May 8, 2014 regular meeting of the Board of Education be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
It is recommended that the May 2014 financial reports be approved. The May listing of bills be approved as mailed to each member in advance of the meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
It is recommended that the updated 5-year forecast and assumptions be approved as submitted to the Ohio Department of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. It is recommended that the Treasurer be authorized to advance the following estimated monies from the general fund to the following funds to avoid a negative fiscal year end balance. And those items are listed on your page.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. It is recommended that the Board approve authorization of the Treasurer to make transfers, advances, expenditure adjustments, and/or appropriation modifications as required to close fiscal year 2014. Furthermore, allow the Treasurer to amend appropriations not to exceed the last amended Certificate of Estimated Resources and bring them to legal requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that the Board approve the establishment of temporary appropriations in accordance with Section 5705.38 of the Ohio Revised Code. Furthermore, that the Board adopt temporary appropriations for fiscal year 2015 at approximately $2,443,000.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Moving on to Superintendent's recommendations. It is recommended that the proposed agreement between the Western Reserve Board of Education and the classified employees of the Western Reserve School District, OC Local 438, effective July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2017, be approved.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
It is recommended that the following extracurricular contracts be approved for the 2014-15 school year as per the salary schedule in effect. All those this concerns are listed on this page.
So moved. I'll second it.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. Do I need to read that entire section? Or just make a motion?
I think if you just read the first two,
All right, the next recommendation is actually 2 pages long, so I'm going to abbreviate. All that information is in front of you. It is recommended that the following resolution acknowledging the urgent necessity to make immediate correction of the electrical issues at the K-12 facility be approved, whereas persistent to Revised Code 331346, this board is required to follow the competitive bidding procedures in letting contracts to build, repair, enlarge, improve, or demolish school facilities, the cost of which will exceed $25,000, which includes advertising for bids for a period of 2 weeks and awarding the contract to the lowest responsible bidder following such advertisement. And whereas exceptions to this requirement are provided in cases of urgent necessity and/or for the security and protection of the school property.
This is that electrical proposal we've talked about for a while, and the damage we've had to some of the motors and that with our heating and cooling. By law, we are required to post and accept bids for anything over $25,000. This resolution gives us a waiver on that out of emergency and necessity to get this work done. I know I included with your packet the bid from Tri-Area, and we met with the Facilities Commission and Hammond Construction and Chris Firestone, the engineer who made this proposal. So Tri-Area is ready to go on this as soon as I give them the word of what your decision is on it, so we can have this work done by the start of school for sure. Going through this.
He's done, so moved.
Second. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
And actually, some of that work that is being done this time is in the more recent manual from the OSFC that's required as part of construction projects. So, fortunately, we got it done. It's still part of the project, and the state's paying for over half of that.
That's great.
Our percentage. So, they did make changes. A lot of those things are required in new projects.
So were other schools having issues as well?
I think so. Yeah, that and just the infrastructure. Now, First Energy did make a change in one of the legs of electric that was feeding us. They did it from a different way, and we were not necessarily at the end of that leg. So that seems to have helped. What we're doing now is more protecting the individual motors and circuit breakers and that type of thing that will trip if there's a surge or if there's a change in electrical voltage that comes in, rather than just that motor trying to start on low voltage, burning that.
We have a motion.
We voted.
We did. We carried.
Any other questions? Going to number 4, it is recommended that the board approve the contract status for the classified staff for 2014-15 as per the effective salary schedules as follows, and that information is on your page there.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Cobb?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that Paulette Stahl be granted a 3-year contract as Treasurer Secretary EMIS Coordinator effective August 1, 2014 as per the effective Treasurer's Secretary Salary Index.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board approve a one-year contract for Jeffrey Mardick as athletic director, effective August 1, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
It is recommended that the board approve the increase to the lunch prices for the 2014-15 school year as follows. K-5, $2.55, 6 to 8 is $2.55, 9 to 12 is $2.80. These were all increases of 5 cents.
And as I had indicated, it's part of the requirements that we have to meet now with the whole wheat and the grains and the vegetable,
That's
fresh
still
fruits.
really
What's
cheap.
that?
That's still very cheap. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Where did we end up for the year? For the school year?
I think they had a balance of 37,000, possibly more. I can check.
And, you know, they
I mean, amazing.
do, I mean, they're kind of self-sufficient, so they're,
I mean, that's
they've
so
done a good
reasonable.
job, they really have, and that was one of the reasons why we considered adding that couple hours to that one position. Because they do have, and have taken on more of the paperwork and record keeping that's required from federal and that kind of thing too, so.
But this isn't us. This is coming down from the government saying that we have to.
Yeah,
We get an
I just,
email.
one of the concerns I have was what's happening with food inflation costs, or if there's any budgeting or forecasting related to that.
It's crazy, I know. I would deal with it every day.
At this point, we finished the year, what was the total spend for the cafeteria?
They finished at 39,380 for a balance. They spent 224,000. That's fiscal year to date. So,
No, I'm satisfied.
So moved.
I mean, just that we don't have to transfer in.
Which is good.
That was
Yeah, that's.
It's always been,
Just
I've
the
never known
last
it to be,
maybe 2 years.
the last two.
Last
This
year
is the
been-
second year that we haven't had them in the negative where I had to.
always been negative.
Excellent.
Which is good.
The salad bar and the mashed potato bar.
Yeah, they've done a lot to
I think compliments, I think it's worthy of the board acknowledging it to the staff and say that, you know, their efforts to manage the cost of the operations there.
It's huge,
work
you're right.
with The
Agreed.
administration on the staffing is noted and appreciated.
I wish that they were able to come and.
Yeah, because they do,
2
they have
meetings
a,
ago,
they have a lot of
wanted
pride.
to, yeah.
They should, that's huge.
they serve it, yeah.
They work hard. They do.
Yeah.
And they do a great job.
Yeah, so moved it.
I'll second.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. Next item is, it is recommended that the board approve the contract for special education and related services, alternative program services, and other services as individually specified and defined in the agreement with the Mahoning County Educational Service Center for the 2014-15 school year at a cost of $503,956.54. This amount will be deducted from the district's state foundation payments and paid to the Mahoning County ESC.
So
Again,
moved.
this is all services, psychological services, speech, physical therapy for any identified students with special education. If it was not done this way, we'd have to hire those people individually. It's just pretty cost prohibitive.
Again, so moved.
Second. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benyon?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
It is recommended that the agreement made with the Mahoning County Educational Service Center to provide Peggy Gannon for 2 days to assist West Reserve Local with assistive technology upgrades be approved.
These are, again, for special education. We have Debbie knows the Kurzweil, right? Kurzweil. She, yeah, different things that the special ed students use. This is for updating the teachers on the newer material and equipment, as well as getting them ready for the use for the kids for special ed. And again, it's through the county office. She comes out for a couple days before school to update the teachers on any changes with the software.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes.
It is recommended that the board approve Annie Hauk Moore's request for an unpaid parental leave for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Is that different than maternity leave? We don't technically have maternity leave.
Okay.
We have leave. No, it's not different.
It is recommended that Jeffrey Brogan be hired as a social studies teacher for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second it with stars.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Is he here?
No. Good work.
So earned. I'm so excited about that.
It is recommended that Gerald Bartow be approved for a continuing contract beginning with the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. It is recommended that the board approve the basic policy service contract between the Yellow House School Boards Association and Western Reserve Local School District in the amount of $3,600.
So moved.
Second. Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
It is recommended that Jennifer Kopanik be added to the certified substitute list.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes.
It is recommended that Richard Kirkpatrick be added to the classified substitute list.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, if you don't know him, is seated right here. He was answered the call of our need for bus drivers. Said he's a retired teacher at the vocational school, and he lives in the community and has grandchildren, and said, I'll help out. And then once he found out how many hoops he had to jump through and all the stuff, that it was a little more difficult than just getting a CDL and saying, I'm ready to drive. We had them all ready to go the last day of school, or next to last day of school, I think it was, and we didn't quite have all the stuff in, and I think the day after that, everything come in, and so he's ready to go. He's ready to go. So we'll load him up with kids this fall.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you.
So moved.
Yes. Second. Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for saving us.
So we can quit getting all those calls.
Yeah. Save on the phone.
Exactly.
Jeez. All right, thanks, Paige. It is recommended that Patsy Del Torio's resignation from head girls golf coach be accepted effective June 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
It is recommended that Brett Powell be hired as an assistant varsity football coach for the 2014-15 school year as per the salary schedule that is in effect.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
I abstain.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes. It is recommended that Brian Blevins be approved as an unpaid volunteer junior high football coach for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
I have to abstain.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
It is recommended that Dr. Stephen Novicki be approved as the volunteer team coach position for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes.
That is team position. So coach, but we'll let you slide.
The coach position?
Coach position.
Coach
He's
position.
the,
Trying to keep him off the
He's the
field as
position
much
for
as
the
we
coaches.
can.
Who cares about the
Okay. We'll lock them up. Sorry about that. It is recommended that John Deal be hired as a junior high football coach for the 2014-15 school year as per the salary schedule that is in effect.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes.
Yes.
It is recommended that Katie Hawkins be hired as the junior high cheerleader advisor for the 2014-15 school year as per the salary schedule in effect.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
It is recommended that
Carol.
Terrell Peterson's transfer request from a 3-hour cook position to a 6-hour cook position be approved for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
And again, that's to fill in for Martha Getter's retirement. So Terrell was our 3-hour coach. She moved on to the 6-hour position.
It is recommended that Brittany Rothbauer be hired as the high school cheerleader advisor for the 2014-15 school year as per salary schedule that's in effect.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes. Okay, superintendent's recommendation on the addendum. I'm going to mess this up too.
Benty.
How about some more? Wente.
Pretty bad when he's sitting in the room.
He said you can call him anything you want. Anything you want.
Oh, hey,
It is recommended that Damon Benty be hired as a social studies teacher for the 2014-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Mr. Benio?
Yes.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Halls?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts? Yes. Mrs. Potts?
Yes. Welcome.
Damon
Come stand up and
Benty.
tell us something about yourself.
I'll come introduce myself.
Damon was one of 85 applicants for
Wow.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Nice to meet you.
I'm
Yes.
Jackson Owen, so
Uh-oh. Oh.
I taught there, I'm not from there.
Okay. It's better than the
We're glad
Yeah.
I clarified that.
We're certainly glad to have him. We interviewed 13 people and came up with Jeff and Damon, both good picks. Again, out of 85 applicants, it's a lot of people to go through, but shows the quality that is here, that people want to come here and work.
I was a 2-year sub at Jackson Milton, a long-term substitute for a gentleman who had MS. So when the 2-year gap ran out, my position was open to Jackson teachers. Young lady wanted to have my job, more or less, so that put me in a new district, so happy to be here.
Yep, we're glad to have him.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. Welcome. Building principals reports. Debbie, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, we ended the year. It was 5 minutes. You just know better than that, don't you? All right. All right. Well, I can go fast now. That's right, but I won't. We had field day, and it was a good day. It was beautiful. We couldn't have asked for better weather. We decided to do the awards ceremony on the last day because it's a 1-hour early release, and it worked out really, really well. We got to use the stage and all the setup from graduation, although I don't fit real well behind that podium because you can't really see me behind the podium. I don't know if I can get high enough heels next year to wear, but it was good. It was really nice. I got a letter from a parent, and I'll see, I think I gave it to Mr. Zatchok. It was such a nice letter. One of our goals this year was parent outreach, like to get more information from parents and get more outreach. And this parent wrote a letter just kind of out of the blue at the end of the year, thanking the teachers and everybody for all they've done, for all the programming that we had. And it was an open enrollment parent and saying they made a great choice coming to this school. So it was a really nice thing to get. So I shared that with the teachers as well. Every year we have to do a survey, the parent survey for Title I, and this year we kind of revamped it, got a lot of really good information. The parents really want more stuff. They're really struggling with some of the new standards, with some of the new curriculum, and they want more. We did the 3rd grade guarantee that I told you all about this year, the parent program. So that part of that group of parents is going to be our parent outreach group. So I'll be working with them at the beginning of the school year to do outreach. We made kits with everything that we did with the parents. So we have them. They can just go with us or whatever. And you'll start seeing some more of that. Speaking of which, I'm glad to report our 3rd graders knocked it out of the ballpark. Every one of them passed 3rd grade reading guarantee. We passed. We had one student that didn't meet proficient, but everybody else. 78% of our students scored advanced or accelerated in 3rd grade. It was amazing. It was a 97% proficiency rate in 3rd grade. So that was a wonderful thing. And just to give you a little example, a couple of our 3rd grade reading guarantee kids, we had one that started out at let me see, let me find the one. 374, ended up with a score of 418. We had anywhere between 9 and 15% growth from these kids, which is huge. That's big in 3rd grade. So they did a great job. Our priority next year is going to be writing across the curriculum, and one of the things that we've looked at is making kind of a standard fluid writing process. So using the writing process in science, social studies, language arts, math, and really having a standard format. That was one of the areas that we worked together on that we've kind of fallen down a little bit in the high school. So we're going to start building that up in the elementary school. And then finally, we had Jump Start for kindergartners. Our little kindergarten babies came in last week, and they are ready to rule our school next year. They told me, they said, Mrs. Frelly, we are ready. I said, are you ready? And they said, we could start kindergarten right now. And I said, well, we're going to give you a couple months off, and you come back in August. So they've already been in the school, and a really nice group of kids, great group of parents. So other than that, that's it. I'm right now working, and I'll give you guys a report on our scores. We got our scores, and I'm kind of sifting through all that data right now. I'm really going to look at value added, which value added means that students need to show at least 1 year's worth of growth. And now it's tied to teacher performance, and so I'll be kind of delving through all that so we don't have any surprises. But right now, scores are looking good. They're looking very good. I've kind of got the raw data all analyzed, and now I'm doing the value added. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple weeks. So that's it. It's all you.
That wasn't ready. It's quicker than 5. We finished out the year very strong with scores. We had our preliminary OGT scores in math. We scored at 98%, which is just unbelievable. Our writing was the only one that went down a little bit. We were at 89, which goes back to what Debbie's talking about, writing across the curriculum. We're also looking at reading across the curriculum 6 through 12, where we're going to do a lot more reading and combine some things together and start doing some projects together with different subjects as far as research papers and social studies and different people interacting together to maybe help us with those scores a little bit. So we were really, really pleased. Majority of all of our scores except the writing were in the 90s, which is exceptionally good. And you have to remember when you're talking about 91% or 89%, we're only talking a couple of students, maybe 3 students when you're looking at the total tested. So those came out really well. As Debbie said, our OAAs just came in yesterday, so we're looking through those. We finished the year in the junior high with the 8th grade boat regatta, and I'd like to thank Frank Marr and his family for allowing me to use the lake. My first boat regatta, quite a production. For all of those, I know most of you have already been there once or several times, but I did not expect the turnout, number one, the amount of food, or the creativity in the boats. It was incredible. The one boat that won held over 2,500 pounds and still didn't sink. So it was amazing what those kids put into that, and with their parents. I know, parents and grandparents, it's like a family thing building that boat. Of course, I'm not telling any of you guys anything. You've all been there before. But we also had the awards assembly the day after graduation in the main gym. The nice thing there was everything was set up, so we just went right into the awards assembly. Chris Yeager could see over the podium. She is a little bit taller than Debbie, but we had to have a stand for her. But a lot of kids were honored. It was great to see the parents there and to see all the kids receive their awards. And then we had field day on the last day of school in the afternoon. I got to tell you, the junior high hall, and it was hot that day. When they came back in at 1 o'clock, that place smelled like a locker room, the entire hallway. They were sweaty, they were hot, they were, yeah, Kathy said, they had a good time in field day. We didn't do a dunk tank like Debbie did, but somebody mentioned that. That means that I would have to go in the dunk tank.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year,
Maybe
yeah.
next year.
Maybe next year. At the high school level, I won't talk much about softball, baseball, or track, because I know Mr. Marty's going to talk a little bit about that. But we had a very successful graduation. 54 graduates went through. 3 chose not to go through. From the Career Center, they decided that they went through the Career Center graduation. Very nice day. Joe Schiavone did a great job speaking. I thought he stayed right on his message. It was good to the kids. And it was a nice experience. We also had our softball, baseball, and track teams. Of course, we know baseball finished in the Final Four at the state. Softball was close. They were at the regional finals. And track, we had a group of 4 gentlemen go down and finish 10th in track in the relays. Brian Sunderman, Joe Falaska, Josh Valetich, and Mark Harper. And then Joe also competed in the hurdles. So overall, great year academically and athletically for Western Reserve Junior Senior High School. It's a place that's very proud to be part of. It's a place that's recognized statewide for academics as well as athletics. And it's been a really good year from that standpoint. It was fast. Now we're getting ready for football.
Just reiterate what he said. We finished the year on a pretty high note this year. Spring sports did really well for us. Kids are, all the congrats that we get from everyone. Our physical day was held the Wednesday of finals week. We had approximately about 150 people come through. It took about an hour and a half, so it was a good turnout. The state they're really looking and trying to get everything set for that online pupil activity. So if you talk to any of the younger parents who are going into 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, especially younger ones, try to tell them to get online and do it online, because once it's on there, it's done. And within the next year or 2, I see it being mandatory that it's done that way. The physical forms. They'll all be online. Once you fill it out, you're done. You just fill it out one time. You go back and you enter in some data that may have had a kid got hurt, injured himself or something. It does take a significant amount of time. It takes about an hour and a half to complete the whole thing, which is absurd, but it's pretty detailed information. So if the kid does get injured in a game, we have to transport him by ambulance to the hospital. All the it's all wired into the hospitals. They just pull it up and they have all his medical history right there. So it's pretty nice for those things. most of the summer stuff in June is over. Basketball camps are finishing up this week. Over the 4th, next week, we go into our mandatory no contact period, so everything will be shut down around here. And then obviously football and volleyball really get started cross country in the middle of July there. So meet the team night will be Wednesday, the Wednesday before the first scrimmage. I'm not sure what that date is offhand. I'm sure we'll put it out on the board and stuff when we get closer, put it in the roundup. That'll be meet the team night, and picture day is actually going to be on Friday, and then I think for the band it's actually on Saturday because they're band camp that week. So we're going to do Friday during our overnight extravaganza. Has to do with lighting. Sen says lighting's better later in the afternoon, so in the morning it's tougher to get good pictures, I guess. So we're going to try it this way this year. Kids are still planning on doing all the overnight stuff. Just getting ready for the fall to get started. Excited. On the budget report is there for you. All the receipts, and I believe all the receipts and expenses have been put in there. It's real close to what the school has for expenses and receipts. I believe maybe the difference is a couple $100, and that's because we did some deposits and some expenditures today, so that's probably why the difference is there. But I think it's actually really good. I shouldn't say really good. It's not bad. It's better than it has been, I guess. We're around negative $11,000, $12,000, but that's basically running your athletic department on $11,000 or $12,000 from the school outside of busing and paying coaches. So I really don't. I think that's pretty good, in my opinion, to run the athletic department on that. We're obviously working to do a little better, trying to curb some of the expenses and make sure we inventory everything more accurately, to make sure we're not buying things that we don't need. So if there's any questions, feel free to call me. We can talk about it. That's all I have.
Any questions for Jeff? Mr. Zacha?
Just a couple things. One is I looked out the window. In case anybody would ask you, you may or may not hear, or notice, or somebody said that Charlie Hoffman wishes everybody a safe summer. If you saw that on a sign, or if anybody said anything, that was from the PTO auction that we auctioned off the sign to the highest bidder. So that's what they wanted to put up. In case somebody says, how can I get advertising on that sign? Yeah.
Paid for that.
Tell them, come to the auction and bid on it. Yeah. And so it was,
He bid on it.
it was a while ago, but that was, in case somebody says, I just happened to think of that. We did not get our straight A grant again that we wrote for the solar panels. It's pretty frustrating when and I just jotted a few things down that some schools got some substantial amounts of money for. One was I think it was almost $750,000 to train teachers to increase success on the third grade guarantee. I thought that's why we hired good teachers, and certainly we don't have the same problems that other school districts do. Develop staff for implementing the Common Core standards. We've been doing that for 2 years. We did it because we were supposed to do it, not needing extra money. Transform math education. Entrepreneurship. We got that manufacturing class. You guys get the report every year, and it's, again, probably anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million or more some of these school districts got. Redesign traditional elementary classrooms to promote creative thinking. I can't even read my own writing. And problem solving. And again, they're doing it. Walk down that hall anytime, they're doing it. Columbus City School, and I know city schools have their issues, $675,000 to keep students on track for graduation. So it's frustrating when we have something that we thought was really innovative, was sustainability. We were going to save money every year that we had that. I'm not sure how this is going to show the sustainability. It's frustrating when you put the time into it that we did. Debbie and Doug and Charles Carlin from the University of Akron and Aaron from Valley Energy Solutions, and we really put a lot of time into it and didn't get it. So Valley Energy is still going to look at a grant, and she's going to finish that up. I met with her today, and to put solar panels on the reserve building roof that would generate a fair amount of electricity. It would be through a power purchase agreement with them, where they would own the hard stuff, the panels. We would buy electric from them at a reduced cost than what we are currently paying for our electric. So they're going to write that grant. I have a power purchase agreement I'm going to look through. They're going to maintain the equipment should the grant go through. We would buy the electric from them that is produced. If there would be an excess amount produced, we would have an agreement with First Energy that we would get credited for anything over that amount, and we'll see how that grant goes. It's through the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and so they seem really excited about trying to work with us. So we'll see how that one goes. I gave you all a copy of the class of 2014 profile. Mr. Melito puts that together, so that's kind of a rundown of everything and some good information on that. The August board meeting, we'll remind you again in July, but the board picture that goes to the fair, that will be coming up at 6:30 on the August meeting, which I'm going to assume we can get back to the second Thursday.
Which would be the 14th.
The 14th. Which brings us to the July meeting. I'm going to be out of town.
What's the date on that?
Well, the 14th would be the meeting date. Yeah. I mean, we've got some time. We just tentatively set that with Sen Photography because they come out and do that picture.
I know I'm out of town that week.
Okay.
Then we can't do the picture.
We're at the 14th?
You have to draw you in now.
I know. You could Photoshop
Hey, we have skills.
him.
Yeah,
You could take one of my phone and Photoshop you with a little hat on your head. Little camo hat.
We can have Doug sit in for you. Same hair.
Yeah,
That week you're out of town that week then? Okay.
If it works out, we can talk about the July meeting,
Yeah,
see what everybody's schedules are.
I'm good anytime, so whenever it's good for
Which
Murray.
brings us to the July meeting. I'm going to be out of town over the 10th, which is the second, if we stick with that second Thursday. So, I think you were going to be out the 17th. So if you wanted to go either earlier that week, is Wednesdays bad for you?
Not anymore, man.
Not anymore? Do you want to go like that week earlier, the 14th
Sure.
or the 6th? 14th is Monday, 16th is Wednesday.
Sure. Good for me.
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday preferred.
Monday the 14th?
That would work.
Okay. So the July meeting will be Monday the 14th.
What time? We do it early
You
again.
want to go early again?
I like early.
5?
Maybe 5 might be too early. We were all late.
Is that
We weren't over.
All right. Sassy.
We
were
5 o'clock, does that work?
Do 5, or do you do
5
5:30?
o'clock on Monday, July 14th.
Go 5:30 just to be.
And then
No,
we can
5:30 is mess me up.
we can look at calendars for the August meeting.
You'll be at Ben's at 5:30.
All right. The 14th of
Monday the 14th, 5 o'clock. We'll send Ron reminders, countless reminders.
Countless.
Not me.
I think that's all I have.
Can't afford to go to board meeting.
Anything else for the board?
Can't afford to go to board meeting.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Powell.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.